Hi there. Welcome to Apple World, that is my sibling here. From the very beginning, we used to awaken, and once upon a time, when he was like 10 and I was somewhat more established, his more established sibling and I used to battle about the over-the-ice chips. It was interesting. I had an opportunity to see a few things, no doubt except for you, when you were 13. What were you seeing? I went there to see the way of life, and I saw it, and it was nevertheless. I couldn't say whether I could enjoy and comprehend what I was in any event. Seeing it was wild well that will improve fire getting together on the grounds that Usher is going to end him once and for all. By uncovering probably the haziest privileged insights about him. Word on the roads is that Usher is going to drop a claim that will be more insane than Cassie's claim, uncovering how Diddy purportedly saw him when he was a kid living with Diddy. And listen, you all, this show is insane on the grounds that Usher accompanied receipts, and you will have a hard time believing the frightful things that Diddy supposedly did. For what reason are the roads saying that Diddy gave us your herpes? So what was in Kim's book? You need to hear it. Here it go. Now I can't verify or refute what's in this book, however. Ain't no one fit Natasha K. Me. So in this book, it definite his associations with men film of those experiences. It had the names of the men he laid down with an illness purportedly Diddy given attendant a sickness. Okay, so you all better bounce in on the grounds that listen, it is giving Kardashian levels of show. Really, you understand what scratch that cuz the Kardashians want to get this kind of dramatization, because it just went from being insane to out and out criminal. Now you all expertise individuals were hauling Cassie for privately addressing any remaining issues, discussing how she was solely after the cash toward the beginning, and all that well, there was discussion about how she was harming a casualties, and she ought to have stayed with the case for the rest of the preliminary and yakety yak. Well, incidentally, she really did a significant support of the casualties since an ever-increasing number of individuals are being intense about their cases and are emerging to uncover Diddy for harming them, and they're presently battling for equity goodness. And Cassie got the opportunity to settle the claim before she even documented, in light of the fact that her legal counselor uncovered that Diddy attempted to settle with her under the steady gaze of she recorded her legal counselor uncovered that she turned Diddy down, and she said Mr. Combs offered Miss Venture 8 figures to quietness her and forestall the documenting of this claim. She dismissed S.'d endeavors and chose to give a voice to all ladies who experience peacefully. Miss Venture ought to be acclaimed for her dauntlessness. So despite the fact that Cassie wound up privately addressing any outstanding issues, she actually accomplished the objective since Diddy was getting hauled for rottenness, and is nevertheless it doesn't simply end via virtual entertainment, since there have been a few new claims documented against him and his organizations that Diddy is presently rapidly losing heaps of dollars. Now we felt that it was screwed up before, however. At that point, Usher just stepped in the talk and listened when I let him know everything that he needed to say regarding Diddy. It's horrendous, way more regrettable than we suspected it would have been. Yet before we get into that, I got to discuss how many individuals in the business and in Diddy's circle purportedly saw Usher's claim coming, since they have been cleaning house and limiting any association with him. Macy's declared that they were dropping his design line, saying that as a piece of our continuous survey of our image portfolio, the Shejong assortment has begun to phase out of combinations since late summer 2023. Diddy's items are being eliminated and won't be accessible on the site. It's the course of business retail locations that are continuously assessing and choosing what's applicable to shoppers. Dio, the organization behind S.A'd, even indicted him, saying the new open and upsetting allegations against him risk crushing and causing extremely durable harm to the tequila brand. At the time, we thought he planned to get dropped as a result of Cassie's claim, as well as due to the different claims that were brought against him. In the event that you missed it, 2 different ladies emerged to document claims against him for supposedly trying them, harking back to the 1990s. One of the ladies is Joey Dickerson. Neil and she guaranteed that Diddy drugged her S.A'd and recorded it without her insight when she was an understudy in 1991. As per reports, the protest of charges, Mr. Combs deliberately Dr. Dickerson, nothing leaving her unfit to stand or walk the suit, said she left her beverage unattended with him at the caf, and a while later, under supposed strain from brush, she endured a shot from an unpolished. They then headed to a music studio, the suit expressed, when Dickerson nothing couldn't leave the vehicle. Combs purportedly assumed her to a position he was remaining to say her as per the recording. Surprisingly more dreadful, she uncovered in the claim that Diddy had made a video of him trying her, and he shared it around. Reports had it that days after the fact that a male companion named Devontae swung and individual from the famous S.A'd SR and B Bunch Jeezy revealed to Joey that he saw grown-up tape alongside others, as per the suit. Joey said, "Swing dreaded his band would lose its record bargain in the event that he opposed comms." She likewise put out an announcement saying, "I'm so grateful for the courage of different ladies that approached the Grown-Up Survivors Act, which opened up the documenting window to look for equity and the unfaltering help from my lawyers." Dickerson Neal said in a proclamation Friday that, "For a very long time, the main individuals I have been ready to battle with were my dear companions and advisors. I'm feeling as though the murkiness has lifted, and I can openly push ahead in accomplishing my maximum capacity." The following lady to come out chose to remain unknown, yet she guaranteed that Diddy and artist Aaron Corridor purportedly were her and her companion. Thinking back to the 1990s, she asserted that she and her companion had met Diddy at an industry occasion facilitated by RCA Records. She said that the two men had been beguiling when they welcomed her and her companion to Aaron's loft for an all-nighter. They barely cared about it, as per reports. While at Lobby's condo, Jane Doe was offered more beverages and was constrained into getting physically involved. Many came wrapped up in his business. Jane Doe lay in the bed, stunned and damaged, while Jane Doe was attempting to get dressed. Paul supposedly jumped into the room, nailed her down, and constrained Jane Doe to get physically involved with him, yet it was more regrettable than that on the grounds that, as per reports, Diddy and Aaron then, at that point, alternated with her companion at the time. It didn't end there since. Days after Combs went to the home where Jane Doe and her companion were remaining, he became angry and supposedly gagged Jane Doe until she passed out. Combs was purportedly searching for the companion since he dreaded she would tell the young lady he was with at the time. Did he deny this? His attorney expressed that, in view of Mr. Collins' distinction and achievement, he is an obvious objective for unknown informers who lie without soul or ramification for monetary advantage. The New York lawmaking body certainly didn't mean or expect grown-up survivors' acts to be taken advantage of by tricksters. The general population ought to be doubtful and not rush to acknowledge these sham claims. Yet after these claims, things were expected from Diddy. At first, we felt that perhaps quite possibly the case was going to at long last subside, yet we were off base on terrible in light of the fact that, the following thing, we realized sources began to uncover that Diddy would have been restricted from the Grammys 1 year from now. A report said a few foundation authorities are pushing to eliminate the extremely rich person genius from the Grammy list if people to attend the conventional solicitations go out this month. There's contention at the Institute as a few Democratic individuals don't figure it would be fitting to welcome Diddy. Some, including a few prominent African-American individuals, dread that enticing him gives a false impression to crowds, and the causes it upholds. A few marketing specialists have asked that the craftsmen aren't situated by him. It's a huge mess of confusion, definitely, and that was quite terrible. Yet the following thing that happened was totally stunning on the grounds that Diddy's image. Revo Television reported that he would have been venturing down. They made an announcement that said, "Sean Combs has ventured down from his situation at administrator of Revolt. While Mr. Combs has recently had no functional or everyday job in the business, this choice assists with guaranteeing that Revolt remains undauntedly zeroed in on our central goal to make significant substance for the way of life and enhance the voices of all individuals of color, all through this nation and the African diaspora. They proceed with our center has continuously been one that mirrors our obligation to the aggregate excursion of Revolt, one that isn't driven by any individual yet by the common endeavors and upsides of our whole group for the benefit of progressing, raising, and advocating our way of life, and that go on." So when I saw this, I promptly knew that something evil was going to happen. I mean, things were beginning to calm down when Revo Television made their declaration. And I mean, I get different brands removing him, however, his own image that he assembled, definitely. It was given that he was attempting to isolate himself from his image, so he didn't lose no cash. And listen, was I right on that since word on